Hi, everybody. I'm DLisa, the Dream Doula for women. What does that mean? I help women listen to the intuition that comes every night inside of their dreams so that they can use that in their day-to-day life to be more productive and happier so that life feels like a magical adventure. Would you like that? I'm going to tell you 3 things about sleeping and dreaming in our short time together. So listen up. Take notes if you want to. Would you like to sleep better? The answer to that for most people is yes. Most of us don't sleep that well. We wake up in the night, we go to sleep real late, and we're exhausted and we're thinking about something. We've just watched TV for hours or scrolled on our screens. Well, here's how to go to sleep well, like you're a little baby. Now imagine you're a little toddler and your parents are getting you ready for bed. What do? They feed you dinner? Probably. They give you a shower or a bath? Probably. They put you in your pajamas and they read you a book. This is a typical nighttime ritual for little tiny kids. So the kid knows after they get their pajamas on and hear a book, it's time to get under the covers and go to sleep. You can do that as an adult for yourself as well. How? Well, don't just watch screens and TV and scroll on your computer or your phone until right before you go to sleep because your brain is still in like woo mode. The brain goes through several states of brain waves while you're sleeping. So if you want to put yourself to bed at night, maybe you're the kind of person that likes to take a bath. Take a bath before you go to sleep. Relax yourself. For 2 hours before you go to sleep, 2 hours, you should not look at screens. They've done studies, and that is the perfect timing. It's a little difficult to do in our world, but if you don't look at your email, you don't look at your texts, you don't go on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, and you don't watch television on a screen, then for 2 hours, your brain is settling itself. Maybe read a book or drink some tea that's soothing and calming. Take a bath or a shower. Take a walk with your dog or your beloved. Then settle into sleep in a dark, cool room. So first, no screens before bedtime for 2 hours. And second, the room should be cool and the room should be dark. Because if you have lights on, they disrupt the sleep patterns. Who knew? Sleeping in a bright space might be good for a nap, but not for all night sleeping. So first of all, what are you going to do? No screen for 2 hours. Second of all, the room should be dark and cool. And that is better sleep. And then the third thing I'd love to share with you is this. How can you dream well? Some people tell me, I don't remember my dreams. I just have nightmares. I have sleep paralysis. There are all kinds of troubles and conundrums that come up for us while we're dreaming and sleeping. So if you're sleeping well, you will dream for 2 hours every night. Isn't that amazing? If you do the math on that and you become old enough to be 80 years old, that is 6.5 years you've spent dreaming. 6.5 years. Imagine you went on a vacation for 6.5 years. Would you want to remember some of it? I bet you would. You would want to remember some of that vacation. So let's see if we can remember some of our nighttime dreams. And let me just talk about how you can do that and how you can infuse those nighttime dream intuitions into your day-to-day life to be more productive at work and in your life. Do you have nightmares? Do you have recurring dreams? Those are the most important ones, in my opinion. And I've been studying dreams for over 30 years. I've been writing down dreams for longer than that. I'll tell you how I like to write down my dreams and how I like to pull the messages out in a moment. But in those 2 hours of dreaming, Sometimes you'll wake in the night and you'll, oh, I was dreaming. I should write that down. If you're going to wake in the middle of the night to write down a dream, I suggest in your dark, cool room that you don't turn on a light. That if you can have a dream journal and something to write with right next to your bed, that you just stay as sleepy as you can and write down your dream in the dark. Sometimes you can't read it the next day. Sometimes you fall right back asleep while you're writing it. That's okay. Those dreams that come and go aren't the most important ones. The most important ones are bright, scary dreams, or dreams that repeat themselves, repetitive dreams, recurring dreams. I had a recurring dream for 30 years. 30 years I had this dream. I'll share it with you. I was living in various places in this dream. It wasn't ever the real house I lived in, but I would come home to my house or apartment in the dream and the door would be ajar and I could tell someone had been in there. Things were messed up, like in a murder mystery, right? Things were thrown around and doors and drawers were open and someone had stolen my flute. Now, in the dream, I was really, really, really upset. Someone stole my flute. I want to call the police. I want to get that person in trouble and I want my flute back. Also in the dream, I would hear, "Why do you care? You don't play that anymore." Then I would wake up, sometimes really mad still, mad. I'd wake up mad. Had that dream over and over again for 30 years. I asked counselors, coaches, friends that studied psychology, "What do you think this dream means?" And they all did not give me an answer that satisfied me. Then in 2009, I went to art school. I studied art for 4 years in Seattle, and I stopped having the dream. So maybe you've already connected that dream message to what I realized, and maybe not. What do you think it means? Someone steals my flute. Then I go to art school. It was all about creativity. It wasn't about playing the instrument. It wasn't about the flute. So that's the thing that's so fascinating about dreams. You'll have a theme that's in the dream and it will mean something, but the metaphorical meaning might not be the thing that's happening in the dream. Here's another dream that a business owner called to tell me about. I think you'll enjoy this one. She calls me and says, "Oh, Dee, I had the most terrible nightmare. Please help me figure out what this means." And so I said, "Okay, what was the dream?" She said, "Well, first of all, you need to know I'm really, really afraid of spiders." So in this dream, I'm sitting on a couch in a room, and around the edge of the room were spiders, big, hairy spiders the size of humans. And I screamed. And then across the room, you know how dreams are, things kind of morph and change. Across the room, a little girl appeared, about the same size of one of the spiders, picked it up and started carrying it toward me, she tells me. And then I jump up on the couch and scream and I wake up, terrified. What does it mean? What does it mean? Okay, spiders, fear, a little girl. I asked her this question, and this question unlocked the dream for her. I said, "What is it in your life that's skirting around the edges of the room, so to speak, that you're afraid of?" And instantly she got it. Instantly she got that in her business, she was very, very, very worried about money and the income that was not to her liking. She goes, "Oh, I get it. It's money." And then I said, "What do you think the little girl means who's carrying one of those spiders towards you?" And she said, I think that's me. That little girl is me in the dream, bringing me the message so that I can look at it. Now, when I help someone unpack a dream, understand a dream meaning, I usually do exactly what I did with this woman. Like, what does this mean to you? What is frightening you? What are you running from? What is chasing you? All the things that happen in our regular nightmares are metaphors for something bigger. So my recurring nightmare, someone stole my flute, is, hey girl, be more creative. Her spider dream was, hey woman, look at what you're afraid of. In fact, your little girl self is bringing it to you so you can be an adult about it and manage it, right? So if you have a dream at night and you're pondering it during the day, I'm not going to say that's going to make you less productive. It's going to make you more productive if you understand the meaning. Because every night we get ideas, we get brainstorms, we get guidance from our higher self. Our soul self is coming to talk to us in our dreams. We're connected to the quantum field, that energetic everything, where everything exists, all the answers, all the formulas, all the solutions are there for us to connect with while we're in this dream state. Think about this. We have a consciousness. We're connected to the greater consciousness. And so while we're sleeping or meditating, we can connect to that greater consciousness more so than when we're just in our regular, I'm going to work, I'm calling this person, I'm balancing my books, I'm hiring someone to help me. But we can weave it in there. We can weave it in there to make it feel like life is a magical adventure. And why not? Some people say this is a dream, this waking reality that we're in. If you're a fan of Deepak Chopra, Deepak says this: life is a vivid dream. No, that's wrong. I said that wrong. Life is a lucid dream in a vivid now. I've also heard him say, life is a lucid dream in a vivid reality. So if waking life is a vivid reality and also it's a lucid dream, we can change that dream, because a lucid dream just means you're awake while you're dreaming. That's another whole conversation about dreaming. You can have lucid dreams. You can know you're dreaming, and you can change the dream inside of it if you practice your nighttime dreams and lucid dreaming. I've taken you a little too far, perhaps, in this concept of dreaming, but every one of us dreams every night for 2 hours. And if you remember your dreams, you can use that to guide you day to day. So let me tell you now, in the final few minutes we have together, that there's an easy way to remember your dreams, and this is it. You tell yourself at night, I'm going to remember my dreams. The intention brings the memory of the dreams. You can say that a few nights in a row, and you will have a dream that you remember. Also, keep a dream journal. It could just be a scrap of paper, anything, something to write with, something to write on, next to your bed, so that you can easily just reach over and grab it when you're waking. The first 10 minutes of being awake is the best time to remember your dreams. And after that, poof, they're gone. Unless it's a bright, scary dream, which you'll remember. I'm sure you can all remember a dream from childhood, a nightmare. So the first 10 minutes, write down your dream. If you need to go to the bathroom, go do that first. Come back and write down your dreams, and write down your dreams this way. 1, what day is it? 2, where are you in the world? If you're a traveler, that's important. 3, what's happening in your waking life that you're considering, pondering, working on, worried about, then write down the dream in as much detail as possible. What were you doing? Who you were with? The emotions of it, the sensations. Sometimes it's a smell, it's a taste, it's a feeling in your body. Dreams seem so real. Write down all of that. And then you can set that aside. If you want to ponder it right then, that's cool. But usually it takes a few minutes or a few days or sometimes a few months. If you keep a dream journal in this way, you can look back on it years later and say, oh, I totally get the message now. Because you are connecting what's happening in daytime life and what's happening in the dream. And remember this, dreams come in a different language. The language of dreams is a metaphorical language. Spiders might mean fear. If you look up the meaning of dreams, you'll very much easily get confused. There's so many different meanings that people have put on images inside of dreams. Although the friend of mine who wanted to know about the spider dream, she looked up what spiders meant, and the first definition was prosperity. So for her, it worked, but not for everyone. One person dreaming about a spider, it might mean one thing. Another person dreaming about a spider might mean something completely, completely different. So I'm now going to share with you what my free gift is for listening to this on this summit. A free gift for everyone is a little booklet about how to remember your dreams. That's gift number one. And if you're a VIP, the free gift is a 30-minute session with me, one-on-one, where we can talk about your dreams. We can talk about anything you want, but mostly we'll talk about dreams that you might have at night or dreams that you have during the day. It's been my greatest pleasure to have this conversation with you, and I hope to connect with you soon. Again, my name is Lisa, the Dream Doula. You can find me everywhere online. Bye for now.